Bonus, bitches.
I feel like we should turn the lights off for a bonus episode.
Do you want me to real quick?
No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Now that you said it, I think we should.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I feel like we need to create like a dank basement vibe. This is the after hours.
This is actually kind of like the environment that I wish we always recorded the podcast in a way. I know it would be too distracting for like the mainline ones, but I always have that desire to do so.
We can get gritty over here and there.
Yeah.
There isn't a huge focus on this one, so let's roll.
We're always like much more drunk for this the second one of the night.
We're keeping good pace. We've had a couple pints.
Austin, what are we doing for this one? It's not like a ranking or anything.
From my understanding, we're going to talk about some of our favorite films that came out in 2022, and we're coming up on the Oscars. It's fucking tomorrow, ain't it?
They are tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll do predictions for some major categories, and we'll move on with the rest of the night.
It sounds good to me. What do you want to start with, though?
Let's roll with our favorite films. I think I did top 5.
So did I.
Okay. All right.
Top 5 of 2022.
Yeah. My list has changed a little bit because I watched the 2022 films, a couple of them, into earlier this year. So one of those is The Menu.
Ooh, at number 5?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, we can talk about The Menu.
The movie floored me, actually.
I really, really liked The Menu.
We've had a conversation here and there about the satire on elitism and like rich people has like been really ham-fisted this last year or two with like The Triangle and The Menu, and you've been watching
Succession. That's all about rich people. There's another one too, I think, like film-wise, that I'm not thinking of. Glass Onion was all about like billionaire like ineptitude. It's getting really tired.
I think this film deserves a lot of credit because it balances satire and thriller in a way that I don't really think has ever been done before. The way it like seamlessly transitions through moment to moment where I'm laughing out loud and then a second later I'm like fucking horrified.
Yeah, the thrilling elements and the comedy elements are given equal love. And I think in a lesser movie, like one would take over the other. And that's not the case with The Menu.
It's a perfect balance. I don't know how. Like this easily could be like my favorite film of the year. It's not, but when I watched it, I immediately appreciated it. And me and Elizabeth had watched this together, and she fucking loved it too. And I like didn't even want to watch it. I was like, I don't like fucking thriller or horror. I'm like not in the mood for that right now. Mind you, I just watched the most recent episode of The Last of Us. It fucked me up. I mean, I can't do disturbing, violent, over the top very often because it just fucking hangs with me, man. And I think this film did it in a way where I walked away from it like there were some like really fucked up moments, but God, it was like really entertaining.
The fucked up moments are like so absurd. Like the scenario is so ridiculous that it like kind of like takes a little bit of the weight away from it. I think it's anchored quite strongly by just like really great performances. I mean, Ray Fiennes, man.
Yeah, he's a dog, dude.
This guy's a fucking G. I recently watched Grand Budapest and In Bruges, and he's in both of them. And he's like always so great. And it's no different in The Menu. Anya Taylor-Joy, she's good all the time for the most part.
I don't think she's had a performance where she really misses.
Her highlight performance for me is like in The Witch, which I don't think you've seen yet. But yeah, she's great, man. She's going to be like one of the big stars going forward. Weirdly enough, The Menu is directed by a guy named Mark Mylod, and he directs a majority of the episodes of Succession.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It translates.
Like this is his like one movie. Besides, like he did a really stupid like boner comedy in like the 2000s.
Boner comedy. I've never heard that term.
Hey man, wait, you have now today.
You mean like Idiocracy or some shit, like some dumb shit, like Pineapple Express?
Not quite like those. He directed a movie called What's My Number, I think, or something like that, about like a woman that has slept with like hundreds of men and she like can't find like a husband. They're sex centric comedies.
Oh, gotcha.
Makes sense.
Sense.
The Menu, really great.
So pleasantly surprised by it.
My number 5.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed from the last time we talked about it. I guess it should be said for people that like really everybody that listens to this, they don't know that we recorded a end of year review in December, and like audio issues caused us to fucking just get rid of it completely.
We canned it. Yeah, it fucking sucks, but
it really sucks because I thought that conversation was really great. But my number 5 is The Northman.
yeah. Mine's still on the Northman's still on my list. It's actually at number 4. So
Okay.
we watched this film together in theaters, and of like my fucking birthday weekend. I was like, it's my fucking birthday. I'm gonna get the fucking boys together, go watch a movie.
And it was done like purely off the strength of like The Lighthouse being awesome.
Fuck.
I think I said this when we originally recorded our top 5 of the year. Imagine giving Robert Eggers a $200 million budget to do a Viking movie, and that's what we got with this.
Yeah, God, man. Again, Anya Taylor-Joy. Man, I don't even know. It's like just so testosterone filled. It is so.
A lot of screaming.
Yeah, it's gruesome, and I am Beowulf. Like just I don't know. It's extremely animalistic and barbaric. It gets psychedelic at times, and you get Willem Dafoe. There's just like some really great elements. What's her face? Plays Mama.
Nicole Kidman.
Correct. I can only think of her as the AMC.
I think that's the way for like a lot of people now.
I hate it because every time I go to an AMC theater, which is strictly the theater that I go to, it's sometimes heartbreak feels good in a place like this. I'm like, bitch, there's a fucking popcorn under my ass cheeks right now.
Yeah, dude, a lot of like bit-sized great performances. Like you said, Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke. Like they all have like these great like small roles, and a lot of it's like centered around Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, this anti-hero story. Like what you come to find out is a anti-hero story, at least by the end. This will come up later when we talk about like Oscar predictions, because I don't think it was nominated for anything.
It's fucking wild to me.
Yeah, I know. I think it might be a little too weird for mainstream audiences. It didn't do well at the box office.
No, it did end up making its money back, which like made me happy.
Thank God.
It wasn't like a complete bust, because I think that would have put Robert Eggers in a tough spot. I mean, although I think Nosferatu was already greenlit before this thing came out, so
I think he's a director that would work better with like smaller budgets. Like he doesn't need to make epics all the time.
he needs character studies. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think The Witch and The Lighthouse are highlights of his best work. I think The Northman is great, but it's a little bit more expansive than his typical screenplays are. So I'm excited though. I mean, if Willem Dafoe continues to work with him, like they become a pair in the future, like I think that's something that's going to really benefit Willem moving forward, like late into his career. I mean, he's becoming like an old fucking man. I mean,
I know.
honestly, like he's like one of the greatest actors that's still working. Dude, Willem's face, it just works really well for like horror thriller. He does just a really good job of commanding presence. I want to see him work with Robert Eggers, like almost like strictly.
I don't think he's been announced for Nosferatu like officially yet, but I kind of expect it.
I thought he's playing Nosferatu.
Those were like the initial rumors. I mean, remember Anya Taylor-Joy was also like rumored to be a big part of the movie, and she's not going to be in it.
Really?
Yeah, it's Johnny Depp's daughter.
Oh, Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah. And then
I can see that.
that guy from The Menu, Anya Taylor-Joy's date in the movie.
Oh, really?
I can't remember his name for some reason.
He's a fucking Kyle. Yeah, he's the Kyle
Kyle.
character.
His name's Nick something. I can't think of what it is.
Nick Swardson.
God. That would be interesting.
Imagine him in a fucking dramatic role.
Let's make it happen. Old Rob.
Do give him the Adam Sandler shake up formula.
Fuck yeah.
Give him his uncut gems. Fuck yeah, dude.
Number 4. What you said yours was The Northman,
Yeah.
right? My number 4 is Tar.
I have not seen this. I've been dying to see this thing. I almost like purchased a physical copy at Target the other day.
I think you should make it a goal to watch this sometime soon.
I might be watching this. in the upcoming weeks.
It's a really fucking weird movie. I think it has like a powerhouse performance by Cate Blanchett. It feels like a biopic about a fictional person, but it's like way better than what most biopics typically are.
Slow burn.
It's very slow burn. it kind of gives you insight into a situation where it only hints at what's happening and it doesn't really allow you to like form an opinion on her character. It's very hard to explain, but it's acted and written like so naturally where it does feel kind of like documentary like at times. And I think if I go back and rewatch it a second time, there's so many subtle hints both in dialogue and visually that I think it'll bring whole new meaning to it.
Damn, it sounds so good.
The direction is amazing. There's like a 6-minute long take in the beginning of the movie where I literally could not believe that people were still acting without the camera cutting. And also, it's weirdly like darkly comical at the same time, but it won't be funny when you're watching it for the first time. It's more funny like after you've seen the ending and then you look at the rest of the movie. And I don't know how to explain it other than that.
Okay.
But once you see it, I think you might understand what I mean.
Okay.
But I think that's all I have to say about it I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be in the same position with my next one, which is at number 3, I have Bones and All.
Yeah, this is coming to streaming soon.
Yeah, it's coming out in the next week or two, I think. Sometime this month. This is going to be a film that you love. I honestly, like, I truly believe like it'll be a film that you love, like knowing that you derive some sort of like pleasure from. I feel like you've been really getting into like body horror.
I do like body horror. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my cup of tea.
Like Cronenberg type shit.
Not my thing at all. But this film did something to wrap it up in a way that was extremely powerful and intimate for me, which I don't think I've experienced outside of maybe Titan. Like those movies are like few and far in between for me. I don't do it often because I like to like walk away from a film being like, I can go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
So, but we watched Bones and All in theaters, me and Elizabeth, and people were fucking walking out of our theater.
I've never seen that.
And I mean,
ever.
It was very weird. I mean, to see people walk out of a film, I don't think it ever happened to me. And like knowing that me and Elizabeth both fucking loved it, and like it was like absolutely people hated it. I think it has like one of the most beautiful endings to a film I've ever seen. It's like a romance cannibalism story, which is the weirdest combination. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those films that I remember. I mean, I don't have a desire to rewatch it anytime soon. I'd watch it with you if Elizabeth made me, but like I'm not going to seek it out on my own. It stuck with me enough. It was beautifully shot and edited extremely well.
Good performances by everybody?
All around, dude. It was so fucking good. And it's so gritty and dirty. It screams so much this side of the U.S. states, like just it being filmed around this area, it feels like really close to home. Like,
oh, literally. I mean, scenes filmed in Middletown.
It's like dirty Ohio country, like Kentucky, Indiana. Like it's really fucking good, man.
Mm-hmm. I think I understand like the walkouts thing because I think the marketing for this movie severely undersold the cannibalism.
Yeah, it was rough. Dude, it was rough. It was bad. Like,
oh, I believe it. Dude, we've both watched Suspiria. Our boy Luca can be really fucked up.
It was fucked.
I look forward to watching one of his movies like in this horror genre where like it's more cohesive. I thought Suspiria was like a fucking mess.
It was. This one, it was really fucking tight, and I was really glad. I walked away feeling like, okay, that definitely rubbed some people the wrong way, but to me, that was a really well put together film. I loved it, and like that's saying something because all that shit that I just talked about is not my fucking cup of tea.
Well, when this comes to streaming in a week or two, you know I'm gonna
make an effort. Yeah,
I'm gonna be on it like a fly on shit. You know.
Perfect. There's no other way. Number 3 for you.
My number 3. At number 3, I have the Fablemans.
Yeah.
And I briefly told you about this a couple months ago, but it is the semi-autobiographical film about Steven Spielberg's own life.
Yeah.
Directed by himself. I think this movie is like fucking wonderful.
It's on my watch list. I'm you hyping it up like gives me hope that it's good.
And I hope that I'm not overhyping it because it's like not really the type of movie that I usually like on this level. It's like kind of overly sentimental in a way, which is like something that usually turns me off from movies.
Sounds like my cup of tea.
Maybe it is. Maybe you might like it more than I do. You would think because it's about Spielberg's life that it would be all about movies, and it is to a degree, but most of the movie is kind of about like the disintegration of like his own family.
Who plays his dad? It's
Paul Dano.
Yeah, that's wild.
And his mom is played by Michelle Williams, and I don't know if his parents are still alive, but he portrays them in such like a flawed way. Like they both kind of suck. It's not like abuse, but it's more like human flaws that just like keep repeating over and over again. I can't imagine how hard it would be for somebody to like make a movie about like their own parents' divorce, like in such excruciating detail.
I could do it. Sorry.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
But it gets to the heart of like what Spielberg like focuses on in like his big movies, like going forward. Like he has like this eye for spectacle and sentimentality. It's fucking wonderful, man.
I wish I knew. I can't remember there was a podcast series about Spielberg. It was like an audio fiction biographical thing that I listened to. Like this was years ago. It's like something Blockbuster, but it's like about like the making of like Jaws and E.T. and stuff. It's like acted, like these. Oh, I'll have to send it to you. I bet you would fucking enjoy it. I don't really listen to podcasts like that ever.
Yeah.
In which I haven't really listened to podcasts at all in the last like 6 months. I mean, it just
Same.
I haven't been in my car quite nearly the amount that I used to be. But these like fictional recreations of stuff like that, which it's probably actually will echo some of that film. I need to send it to you. You would like it.
I think when we talked about this top 5 list on the episode that was never released, I mentioned that Judd Hirsch has a cameo in the movie, and I said his scene was so good he should be nominated for like best supporting actor, and he was.
Oh shit!
Eventually, so good for him. I don't think he should win, but we'll get into that once we talk about Oscar shit. Also, like spoiler alert to anybody that wants to see this. Fast forward 15 seconds. David Lynch has a cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's like the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I don't want to elaborate any more than that.
Okay.
But once you see it, you'll understand.
Okay. When you got favorite films of the year, I have to watch them. Number 2? We on number 2?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, unless your list has changed, I think we have the same number 2.
Banshees of Inisherin?
Banshees of Inisherin, man.
Oh, man. It was so fucking good.
I rewatched like the first hour of this maybe a month ago, and I went back and I changed my Letterboxd rating from a 4.5 to a 5 out of 5. You have it at a 5 out of 5, don't you?
Yeah, man. I knew walking away. I was like, yeah, that was a masterpiece.
It's like a masterpiece in a lot of ways that I don't even know if I can like explain through words.
It was just extremely tight. It was subtle. The performances were subtle. It's a natural transition from the beginning that's like extremely comedic and ends up being dark and dramatic by the end. Those comedic elements that are introduced to you, the donkey and I'll cut my fingers off and you like me, don't you? All that shit by the end becomes extremely tragic, and you get this transformation from those themes being set up as this comfort, comedy into despair and this really dark place that I actually wasn't expecting the script to go. I think the advertisement for this film played it up more as a comedy, and by the end of it, I felt like it was much more deserving of dramatic.
I don't know if I can even like fucking. That was like such a perfect description of everything great. No, you're completely right. Great performances. Colin Farrell, Brandon Gleeson, even like Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, he was great.
And like he's like a bit part in it. Like he's almost like a non-player.
But his part is tragic as well.
It is.
And it's comedic at first, but it transitions into the fucking depression.
Like he's got like a cop dad.
Beats the shit out of him.
The village policeman that's like a piece of shit. Carrie Condon, like the Colin Farrell's sister, I believe, in the film. She's excellent.
Oh my God. Her monologue to Brendan Gleeson's character. Whew. You're all fucking stupid.
It's beautifully shot. It uses the location of this Irish town perfectly. Amazing landscapes. The music is great, and it's like kind of, I guess like the title is kind of centered around like the song that Brandon Gleeson's character writes within the movie. The thing with Martin McDonagh, I think is his name, is that like the director and writer, his writing and comedy style is just perfect to me. I watched his, I want to say it's his debut film a couple days ago, In Bruges, and it reminded me of this a lot. Like this feels like an even more refined version of what that was. Like this use of like repetition in dialogue, like repeating the same lines, but like each time we go back to that line, it's slightly funnier than it was before. And like
the meaning might change a little bit.
Exactly. And that just compounds over like a 2-hour runtime.
I mean, that's
fucking great.
That's really special as a storytelling device to repeat dialogue. I don't think it's something that happens very often. Thematically, for dialogue to change in a way to where it cascades upon itself into like a metamorphosis of themes that's not common. I mean, it's a very unique storytelling device.
Man, it's a breakup story about friends.
Yeah.
And how often do we get that? Like done in like an earnest way.
That's a good way to put it.
Like,
earnest. Yeah.
Fucking never. It's fantastic.
And I think we're right on track with number one being Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. I think this is a lot of people's favorite movie of the year. And with good reason, too.
It was made during like COVID, and the filmmaking techniques involved, I don't even know where to begin. This movie just fucking barrages you with everything. And you like end up like, we've talked about this, but it like tears your walls down and like makes you a kid again. And then it like destroys you emotionally in a way that you weren't expecting.
The first
and then
half,
rebuilds you. It rebuilds you at the end too.
The first hour is so fucking absurd.
It's amazing.
Multiverse and dildos and like all this like weird. It's like childish humor a lot of the time. And then it starts to get emotional, philosophical. This was filmed on like a $25 million budget. It's all filmed mostly in one location and all takes place in like an IRS building. And then like the variation comes from like these cutaways to the multiverse. It's weirdly hilarious and sad and like uplifting.
It's fucking beautiful, man.
Like doing like a 2-minute blurb here as like highlighting our number one film of the year doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait. I know we'll eventually dissect this like in a full episode at some point. I hope so.
Yeah, for sure. I think part of what makes the film so beautiful, not to like hammer home the title, but like Everything Everywhere All at Once, it like really encapsulates the human experience of just consciousness and like hyper awareness, love and hate and violence, like sadness and hope, and like all these different routes that these characters take throughout the film. And I don't know, it becomes something like extremely beautiful by the end that it doesn't really make any sense. And I think in the day and age that we live in, the way the film kind of resonates with this hyper awareness,
social media
and
overload.
Yeah, this intensity that we live with day to day that is just unprecedented. It's something special. It's a special film, and that's outside of like the performance, and all these characters feel extremely unique. And god damn, there's a fucking grandpa in a wheelchair that has like a rocket on the end of it. Like
it's so ridiculous.
It's insane, but it feels like it's resonating with you in a way that you can't possibly understand, and it's something special.
I think that these top 2 items that we have on this list are like they're emblematic of fucking classics, like modern classics.
Yeah,
and especially Everything Everywhere. This movie will be remembered in the same vein as like Parasite is kind of like a new classic. It can't be explained in 3 minutes.
Speaking of like best films, let's move on to Oscar predictions.
Yeah, the Oscars air tomorrow.
Harvey will be there. they'll bust him out of the fucking prison. He'll be there.
He'll be watching from the jail cell.
You think anybody will thank Harvey?
I don't think so.
Not this year. Maybe next year.
I have this shit pulled up on my laptop. I will read off the category. We're going to go through like a few of like the top ones.
Okay.
Some we will like totally ignore. I haven't seen a bunch of foreign movies this year, so we're not going to go through like best international film or anything. But we are going to start off with actor in a leading role.
Okay.
The nominees are Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul Mescal in Aftersun, and Bill Nighy in a movie called Living, which I've never fucking heard of.
Okay.
So we can go into who do you think should win and who probably will win.
Okay. I actually think for this category, who I want to win and I think who will win will be the same, and I think it's Colin Farrell for Banshees. I could see a little bit with Brendan Fraser, but I don't think everybody has seen... I don't think The Whale has had as much hype in a U.S. release as it has like when it was touring with festivals. I've yet to see it, and I don't know anybody that has.
Same.
I've only heard it's an amazing performance, but I haven't digested it, and I feel like the hype has died down. I think Colin will win. And I think he probably deserves it.
Okay.
I don't see anybody else winning. I mean, I could see Brendan Fraser winning. I mean, I really could, just as let's put Brendan back on top type of thing. I feel like the right choice is Colin.
Okay, I agree with you. I enjoyed Colin Farrell's performance the most out of these that I have seen. I think Brendan Fraser will probably take it.
You really think so?
I think so. All these like other smaller award shows have all seen him take the lead role or the lead award. Hollywood loves a redemption story, and I think that plays a big part in it. Sadly, I could also see it going to Austin Butler and Elvis. I thought Elvis sucked.
Yeah.
I thought it was really bad.
And I trust you. I straight up like trust you in that. And I can see it. Once you like started talking to me about it, I was like, yeah, that probably does that seems like a fucking drag. It's like 3 hours long. Like, fuck that, dude.
It's a hideous movie, dude. We'll get into it more in other categories because it's nominated for a few things.
I fucking hate shit like that.
I think Colin Farrell probably should take it, but Brendan Fraser, I wouldn't be mad. But yeah, fuck this Elvis shit. Actor in a supporting role, we have Brendan Gleeson in Banshees, Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway, which I have seen, Judd Hirsch in The Fablemans, Barry Keoghan in The Banshees, and then Ki Kwan in Everything Everywhere.
Oh,
who do you think's taking that one?
I think Ki Kwan's gonna get that one.
I think so too.
I really do. Because he's been getting the awards in the smaller award venues, and I think he'll probably get it. I do think Brendan Gleeson's performance in Banshees was incredible, but I think, oh my god,
Ki Kwan,
he's so good.
He's so expressive and hilarious and sad.
He made me fucking cry. He made me cry, man. It was his dialogue that makes you cry in that film.
I find it funny that Gleeson and Barry Keoghan are like nominated in the same category.
Yeah.
I would argue that Brendan Gleeson was like a lead in that movie.
I know. It felt like a co-lead type of film, you know?
I definitely think that Ki Kwan will take it, and I think that's who deserves it, honestly. Now we have actress in a leading role, Cate Blanchett in Tar, Ana de Armas in Blonde, Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie, a movie that neither of us have seen, I'm sure. Michelle Williams in The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere.
It's got to be Michelle Yeoh.
Like, who should take it, or like who will get it?
Dude, I honestly think it'll sweep. Like, I honestly believe that everything will sweep. The way I've seen because we have a TV at work, and they have the news channels on all fucking day. In the early morning prime time, they'll talk about when they're hyping up the Oscars and advertising for it. They keep talking about Everything Everywhere all at once.
Good.
And I honestly think that the film has earned its stay in its talking. And I think Michelle Yeoh and, Ki Kwan have both earned their awards. I mean, same with like Brendan Fraser and all that stuff, but I can't see her not getting it. I could see Cate Blanchett getting it too. I know. I'm sure you can argue for that as well. I haven't seen it, but I know it's probably a super strong performance by her, which probably in Everything Everywhere all at once, it's a performance by everybody. So it could kind of be swayed that way towards her.
I think you're totally right. The only two viable players in this category are Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett. In my opinion, I think Cate Blanchett should take it.
Okay.
I loved Michelle Yeoh's performance in Everything Everywhere, but I think Cate Blanchett's, it felt like a level of dedication was given to that character that's very rarely seen.
And I respect that. Even though I want Michelle Yeoh to get it because I love the film so much, but I think you're probably right.
Ana de Armas being
That's
nominated.
so weird.
Everybody that I know hated Blonde.
That movie, yeah, I heard it sucked.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fucking terrible.
It's got like weird. Isn't there like some weird shit going on with like the aspect ratio changes a shit ton in that film where like it doesn't make sense?
I think so, yeah. I think that movie is supposed to be like super like exploiting towards like Marilyn Monroe in general. Like it's all about like her like having miscarriages and like being abused constantly.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible.
Miserable.
I'm not into it.
No, me neither.
I'll never watch it.
I'm a huge fan of black and white though. Like, don't get me wrong.
Same. And I like Ana de Armas.
I do too.
But that movie's not it. Actress in a supporting role. We have Angela Bassett in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow in The Whale, Carrie Condon in The Banshees, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Stephanie Sue in Everything Everywhere.
I think it might go to Jamie Lee.
I'm kind of afraid to say that's probably true. I don't think she should be the one.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't think her performance was like outstanding in a way that's like powerful, but I do think like her delivery like towards Michelle Yeoh's character towards the end of the film was like worthy of a lead, or excuse me, was worthy of a supporting actress. I could see it going that way. I'm also like, I don't know. I mean, that's the one I'm most confident in because I've seen it. So I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
Okay. I think Jamie Lee Curtis will get it because she's been around for so long, and this is her first Oscar nomination.
Really? Are you fucking kidding me?
Fucking ever, man.
That's weird.
It's super weird. I think it's almost a guarantee that she'll get it for that reason alone. I thought Stephanie Sue had the better performance in that movie, though.
For sure. For sure.
She's way more of a pivotal character. I think she has a lot more range. And also, I mean, like, as a dark horse, I think Carrie Condon in The Banshees would be a fine choice to win.
Dude, my God, she was good in that, too. God, she was good. She really, like, held that fucking movie together well. Like, she really is a really good middle ground
she's
for
like,
that film.
She's like the mediator for, like, the conflict
Oh,
in
my
it.
God, it's so good. I wouldn't be mad, either, if she got it.
Any of those three would be fine. Seeing like an MCU movie get best supporting, I'm sure Angela Bassett's like good in that movie, but I will never watch Black Panther.
Me neither, dude. I had no interest at all.
Next category, animated feature film. We have Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro one, not the fucking Zemeckis one. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
I could, yeah.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Fuck. The Sea Beast, which I've never heard of.
I think it's I think that might be an anime. I think.
Really?
I think. I don't know. Don't quote me.
And then we have Turning Red.
No, that's a Pixar. I won't get it. Too much controversy around that one. It won't get it. I could see Puss in Boots for sure. I thought that movie was fucking beautiful. I know you watched it recently.
I did, and I loved it.
It was fucking amazing.
And that and Turning Red are the only two I've seen in this category.
What was the other ones?
Pinocchio and Marcel, the Shell with Shoes On.
I could see Marcel. I heard it was like really powerful, like emotionally was really good. But I think the animation style in Puss in Boots was really superb. It was actually like extremely surprising for a fucking Shrek spinoff.
I know.
Like, it was really fucking good. You've got Florence Pugh as like Goldilocks, and I don't know, like all the characters had like really good personality. Thematically, it was like really intense for a kid's film, and the humor was superb.
I agree.
I really could see it taking the cake.
I thought the screenplay in that one was incredible. It was really fucking so many moving parts, like kind of like colliding at the end. With that being said, I think Pinocchio will probably take it. Honestly,
they do love Guillermo. They do love him.
I thought Turning Red just was not great.
Okay, I've heard. I mean, mind you, I haven't like really been into Pixar since like Soul. I mean,
yeah, same. It's one of those. It enters the echelon of Pixar's most okayest movies, like Brave and Onward and shit like that. But yeah, cinematography. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, The False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths.
Okay,
that's directed by the guy that did Birdman. I haven't seen it yet. Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. You haven't seen any of these.
I haven't.
We can breeze through it. I think I honestly think that like all Quiet on the Western Front will probably get it. Tar probably deserves it, but that's like all there is to that category, I think.
I have no comment.
Costume design is like Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis, Everything Everywhere. Miss Harris Goes to Paris. I think Elvis will probably win that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
If it's not Elvis, it'll be Babylon.
That's what I was thinking.
Directing, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, The Fablemans, Tar, Triangle of Sadness.
I'm going to go with Everything. I think the duo will get it.
I hope so. I think that Spielberg will probably get it for this one, just because it's about his own life.
Okay.
And I don't know, the Oscars love shit like that.
Okay.
If Triangle of Sadness gets it, I'll fucking riot.
I think it could go that way, or it could go Everything directing and then Everything Best Picture.
Okay, I could see that happening. Also, the directing and cinematography categories kind of bring me back to like the Northman, where I think that should have absolutely been nominated. For cinematography at the very least.
Oh my God, the final scene. Oh my God, it was so incredible.
And I think we might be moving our way here. Here's one last small category before we get to Best Picture, I think. We have film editing. This is something I care about more than a lot of people do, I think. Maybe you do too.
I do.
We have Banshees, Elvis, Everything Everywhere, Tar, Top Gun Maverick.
Okay. It could be Banshees, Elvis, or Everything. I think Everything might get it. I could see Elvis getting it just because.
Everything Everywhere absolutely deserves it. It's juggling so many timelines. Like, the editing is superb in that movie. And Elvis, it's so hideous. So I think that Elvis will probably get it.
Yeah.
Usually, like, a lot of the times with Oscars, sometimes it'll be like the most noticeable, so that you can replace the word like best editing with like most noticeable editing.
Yeah.
That's what will get it, and I think it'll be Elvis.
And they'll throw bones towards Elvis because it's probably not going to get too much, even though it'll be nominated.
You know, I was really afraid that Elvis would get like Best Picture like a couple months ago. I think I ranted to you about it. Ooh, one last detour before we get there. Makeup and hairstyling. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther, Elvis, and The Whale. I'm going to go ahead and say I think The Batman deserves this one.
I would like to see The Batman win something.
I think this is the only category it's nominated.
That deserves like best directing or something.
Oh, the cinematography in Batman was like great.
Fucking great.
But in terms of like makeup and shit, what they did to Colin Farrell,
oh my God, dude,
was
nuts.
Unbelievable. He's
Unrecognizable.
Exactly. I could see it going to The Whale because of like Brendan Fraser's like fat suit and all that. But I think Batman should take that category. Music is something I didn't really pay attention to in a lot of movies.
Film score.
Maybe Everything Everywhere should get it. I'm not even gonna name off the fucking people in the category.
Yeah.
And then we have main event here. Main fucking event. Best Picture. This category is huge nowadays, by the way.
It's like 10 fucking things.
It used to be, I think the limit used to be 5 back in the day. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Banshees, Elvis, Everything Everywhere, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking.
Who the fuck would want to listen to that? Yeah, sorry. I can't help myself.
Apparently, I'm going to be watching that movie in the next couple of days because it comes to Peacock for free.
Gotcha.
So I will report back if it's good.
Fuck.
I know our answers for a lot of these are like pretty similar. We both want Everything Everywhere to win Best Picture.
I do. I could see it going to Top Gun, and I also could see it going to Avatar for some fucking reason. But I don't think Avatar deserves it by any stretch of the means. Although I do think it was fucking incredible. It does not deserve Best Picture, but it was fucking incredible.
I think Avatar is at least gonna get Best Visual Effects.
Yeah, for sure.
I might have skipped over that one somewhere along the way.
It's all right. I mean, it should. I mean, without a doubt.
I think it'll get that one.
I want Everything to win.
I honestly think that either Everything Everywhere or The Banshees will probably get Best Picture.
And I'm not going to be mad about either, but I definitely want to see Everything because of just the constraints involved, the impossible that's been done by the film. I think Banshees they're just completely different films in a way that it's really hard to sum up. They're so incredible, separated from each other. Putting them together next to each other, it feels wrong. I feel like there should be a best picture category for like the film that did the most with the little amount, and there should be the film that had the most powerful performances, and it's close, man. It's
Any
close.
other year, I think Banshees would have been like a clean sweep. It just so happens to be in competition with like the other greatest movie of the decade, probably. This is a loaded fucking category, man. I mean, even like Fablemans and Tar existing in this category. All Quiet on the Western Front is loved by a lot of people.
I think Top Gun Maverick being in it is also like actually kind of dangerous. That movie was dude, that movie was really fucking good. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The movie was really fucking good.
Everybody fucking loves it. And the fact that it kind of brought people back to theaters makes me scared that it could win.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it's great.
But it is really good.
I've seen the original Top Gun, and I think it's like boring as fuck. And I think the new one's more of like a soft reboot, just done way more in an interesting way.
Let's just hope that everything or Banshees walks away with it.
Yeah.
We'll find out tomorrow.
As for the Oscars, I think the only category that I did not bring up besides visual effects is writing, which weirdly enough is like one of the things that I value the most. Adapted screenplay, and then original screenplay, and then I honestly don't care. I mean, adapted screenplay, I think that oh no, there's not a single person in this one that I care about. Like Glass Onion is nominated, and I didn't like that movie. Yeah. And then best original, it could either go to Banshees or Everything Everywhere.
Yeah. I would like to see Banshees probably get that one.
I think that one definitely deserves the screenplay award for sure.
Man, it was really tight. All right, man.
We did it.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I mean, I do think at the end of the day, you're going to have your couple snubs, and then I think we want to walk away with like everything in Banshees, like kind of sweeping,
with a few exceptions, but yeah,
we'll get there. All right, man, we did it. That was I'm excited. I've actually never been really been this hyped for an Oscars. So
I know this is a good year for movies, man.
Yeah, it really was. This was the comeback year for film. So
I know.
We'll find out tomorrow. Getter, if you could do me the honors and give us a sign out one more time, man.
Adios.